I know there's been a lot been made about no snaps or practice reps with the first team, the starters. I think that's more common than people anticipate. I would go weeks as the backup quarterback. Weeks, if not months.
You were sort of a seasoned veteran backup who was there for that reason because you didn't need snaps and they could throw you in case of trouble. This is a rookie who's never taken a snap in an NFL game.
So I think it's odd that Shedeur hasn't had a single snap of practice rep. Yes, but I don't think it's something where everyone's making it out to be like, oh my gosh, he should be splitting the reps with Dillon Gabriel.
Splitting is maybe too strong a word. I hear what you're saying, but
he's running the scout team. You're a backup quarterback. Obviously, you would run the scout team, right?
So if he's running the scout team, how is the offensive line not hurt his cadence?
I don't know. Maybe he's not.
The quarterback debate in Northeast Ohio is officially on pause. For at least one more week, there is no controversy, no hedging, no we'll see. Kevin Stefanski made it plain on Monday afternoon. After one electric, imperfect, but undeniably promising debut, rookie Shedeur Sanders is getting the ball again.
It's not there anymore, bro. It's just not there anymore. So let's just get that out the way. But you Shedeur Sanders, and you connect with Bond after scrambling out to your right, avoiding the blitz, and you throw that 52-yard touchdown pass. You throw the swing pass, and you get a 66-yard, another touchdown there as well. I give credit where credit is due to Sampson. It is. I give credit where credit is due, because obviously the first week was awful. 25% completion percentage last week when he came in. This week, 55% completion, 47 yards passing, this time 2,209.
On Sunday, Sanders was the story in a 24-10 road win over the Las Vegas Raiders. On Monday, he became the storyline of the franchise's future when Stefanski announced that the 5th-round pick will start again this Sunday at home against the San Francisco 49ers, even though fellow rookie Dylan Gabriel has cleared concussion protocol and is healthy enough to play.
A touchdown pass yesterday, give credit where credit is due. It was really, really good to see him perform, for him to have the opportunity after a few days of practice, like he pointed out, to really, really showcase his skill. And then you look at him. He's bigger than Dylan Gabriel. He clearly has a better arm, can spread the field better, can throw the deep ball. Okay, so he showed you some of the things as to why we were talking about him coming out of Colorado before he fell to being a 5th-round pick.
In a city exhausted by quarterback roulette, that clarity alone felt like breaking news. The number one job of a quarterback is to win, Stefanski said, doubling down on the kid he just handed the keys to. So, excited to get that first win under his belt. And the next thing is improvement. That's what young players do, especially young quarterbacks. You get one game better, and that's just from working at it. That'll be our focus. Translation: Sanders did enough in 1 week to earn another. Now he has to prove it wasn't a 1-week miracle. The box score from Sunday doesn't scream franchise savior, but the film and the feeling inside the locker room told a different story.
Take a listen to what Myles Garrett said after the game that means even more as to why Shedeur Sanders should start. I'm giving y'all everything. Go ahead.
And I'm just like, wow, there's not many guys in the league that can make that throw. So that was a hell of a throw. I hope he can continue to, grow and develop, from making plays like that, and take it from there.
Shedeur Sanders has to be the starter for the Cleveland Browns moving forward, and it is not because of what Emmanuel Acho thinks. It is because of how Myles Garrett reacted. Forget me. Take a look at this image right here. This tells you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. Myles Garrett's facial expression to that Shedeur Sanders throw said, I ain't seen nothing like this before. And at minimum, I've forgotten ever seeing it before, and I need to see it again. Y'all can remove it. For a defensive player to, during his small break, because usually the Browns offense is rarely on the field, so for Myles Garrett to, during his small break, be looking up on offense and like, oh my God, did that just happen? But y'all know I do my homework on this show. So
Sanders completed 11 of 20 passes for 209 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception in his first NFL start. On paper, that's a solid but unspectacular line. In context, it was something bigger. He became the first Browns rookie quarterback to win his debut since Eric Zier in 1995, snapping a brutal 17-game losing streak in contests where Cleveland started a quarterback making his first career start. For a franchise that has cycled through 42 different starting quarterbacks since 1999, that matters.
And he said not many guys in the NFL can make throws like him. And after, Stefanski still went on and was indecisive. Let's see. He just said, I'm not going to get into that.
Chris, obviously, proud of him and proud of this offense, and there are a ton of things to learn from, but I'm just going to, worry about today.
Man, that's I'm worried about
but when Dylan Gabriel got his ass whooped, and they asked, is Dylan Gabriel the starter? You ain't say, man, we just got our ass beat, man. Let's just worry about this loss. We got some things to clean up. I'll worry about that on Wednesday. It was a quick, he's still our starter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every week you wanted to worry about it then, but now when Shedeur get a good win, you don't want to worry about that shit. That's bullshit.
They got to get rid of him because
that's bullshit, bro.
The rest of the team is not going to want to follow that man.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going to want to follow. They got to get him out of here this year. Point blank, period.
Yeah. You remember the locker room when J.J. McCarthy had a terrible first 3 quarters, he came back and won?
Yeah.
Chicago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chicago game, what that head coach did for him, like, bro, he came in there, you would have think he won a Super Bowl.
It looked like it. Yeah.
Like, bro, like, this your quarterback you talking about, bro. You can't do him like that, man.
That shit just want to feel dumb now.
That shit just wrong, bro. Show him some fucking love, bro.
Show him some love. I mean, and he's such a heavily scrutinized guy, Shedeur, right? He is a very polarizing individual. So every word that Stefanski says is going to be picked apart, and we're picking apart his mojo after the game and not giving him any love. Like, make it easy on yourself. Shedeur is your guy going forward.
It wasn't just that Sanders won, it was how he did it. He showed poise and protection, took only 1 sack, and wasn't afraid to push the ball downfield in ways the Browns simply hadn't seen with Gabriel under center. His 52-yard strike to rookie wide receiver Isaiah Bond was the kind of throw that makes a coaching staff sit up in the film room. Rolling out, eyes downfield, Sanders dropped a high degree of difficulty dime over tight coverage, finally unlocking the deep speed that had been teasing Browns fans all year.
You know what, man? I think I'm going to say this to Shedeur, to the fans, everybody. I'm going to say this perhaps on behalf of the people in my line of work, man. Man, let's just get this money. There is a difference between being an underdog and not being that good. This guy who has had a whole slew of advantages, and the greatest advantage at all, a father with the power to be able to become a coach at all these places to shepherd you through to get to the point where you get to the NFL. This is not an underdog story. They don't make rich underdogs.
The big plays downfield, Stefanski said, pinpointing what separated Sunday's version of Cleveland's offense from the one fans had grown numb to. Obviously, the ball to Bond was very, very high degree of difficulty. Are there things he can do better? Absolutely. We've already talked about that with him, but he has the mentality to make adjustments to the speed of the game and to what people are giving us. Then there was the play that lit up social media, a simple dump-off that became a 66-yard thunderbolt. His first NFL touchdown pass might have gone down as a screen 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but once running back, Dylan Sampson caught it in stride and knifed through the Raiders' defense. It felt like the Browns' offense had finally woken up. On the stat sheet, critics can call that catch and run fool's gold. In the quarterback meeting room, it's evidence that Sanders can get the ball out on time, in space, and let his playmakers cook, something Cleveland's offense desperately needed. And it could have been an even bigger day. If not for Jerry Jeudy's fumble on what should have been another explosive catch and run off a rollout, Sanders might have finished with over 250 yards and an additional scoring drive. The advanced analytics crowd can strip the long plays out of his stat line all they want. Inside the building, the Browns saw something they hadn't seen in weeks: potential. What made Stefanski's announcement even more striking is what it means for Dillon Gabriel. Gabriel, a third-round pick, opened the season as the starter. He's cleared concussion protocol after taking a hit against the Baltimore Ravens in Week 11, the blow that opened the door for Sanders to take over in the second half of that game and then start against the Raiders. On paper, Gabriel's resume is respectable: 59.2% completions, 937 yards, 7 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions across 8 games and 6 starts. But the record in those starts tells the other half of the story. The Browns went 1-4 in the 5 games he started before his injury. The offense was methodical, limited, and too often stuck in the mud. By sticking with Sanders even with Gabriel healthy, Stefanski made something clear: this isn't a charity start. It's an evaluation, and they're not going to waste it. When asked if Sanders' status would be a week-to-week decision, Stefanski refused to look too far ahead. "I'm just going to focus on this week," he said. "Not going to get much past this week." That's classic coach speak on the surface. Beneath it is a franchise quietly acknowledging what everyone can see. With a 3-8 record and the playoffs a long shot, the Browns can't afford not to find out what they truly have in Shedeur Sanders. The quarterback drama in Cleveland isn't just local anymore, it's national. Even before his first start, Sanders was one of the NFL's most polarizing rookies. His slide to the 5th round stunned draft analysts who had projected him as a top-tier quarterback prospect. His last name, and everything that comes with being the son of Deion Sanders, magnified every snap, every throw, every opinion. When the Browns finally handed him a start and he walked off the field 1-0, the takes poured in. Among the loudest voices was former President Donald Trump, who had loudly questioned the league when Sanders fell down the draft board in April. After Shedeur's debut win, Trump took a victory lap on Truth Social, praising the rookie's great genes and declaring, "I told you so." Whether fans love or hate Trump, one thing is clear. Sanders' journey is being watched by people far beyond Cleveland sports radio. Every throw is now a referendum for those who believed in him, those who doubted him, and those who see his last name before they see his tape. Sanders, for his part, hasn't shrunk from the spotlight. "Everybody starts different places," he said after the Raiders game, addressing the narrative that he'd been buried on the depth chart and starved of reps. "Just because I didn't get the summer reps, just because I wasn't in the best situation for me to be prepared, that's how life is. Everybody's not in the best situation, but it's no excuse. You gotta go out there and perform. There's no choice." Then he delivered the line that has already started to define his rookie season. "A lot of people want to see me fail," he said, eyes locked in. "It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen." Inside the Browns locker room, that edge resonated. Teammates saw a rookie who didn't flinch behind a patchwork offensive line, who stayed calm with a 10-sack defensive performance, suffocating the Raiders on the other side of the ball, and who didn't turn a rare opportunity into a nervous meltdown. They saw someone who played like he'd been here before, even though he'd only had 1 week of practice with the starters. And for the fans in the dog pound, used to quarterbacks who come and go like gusts off Lake Erie, the idea of a young passer with confidence, a downfield arm, and a little bit of swagger feels like something worth leaning into, even if it ends in disappointment. That's what makes this second start so significant. Sunday against Las Vegas was the prologue. This weekend against the San Francisco 49ers, that's the first real chapter. The 49ers are not the Raiders. They bring a vicious pass rush, complex coverages, and a defensive front that punishes hesitation. If the Raiders were a soft measuring stick, San Francisco is the stress test. The kind of game where the pocket collapses faster, the reads must speed up, and mistakes get turned into points in a hurry. Either Sanders will rise with another week of first-team reps and a game plan built fully around his strengths, or the league will punch back and force Cleveland to confront harsh truths. The Browns know it, Sanders knows it, Stefanski knows it. To win is crazy. It's amazing, Sanders told CBS after the game in Las Vegas. After 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? This was 1 week of practice. So imagine what a full offseason looks like. It gets dangerous. For now, the Browns don't need the full offseason. They need to see what 1 more week looks like, then another. Then maybe a stretch of games that tells them whether Sanders is more than a good story in a lost season. The stakes go far beyond a single Sunday. Every snap Sanders takes against the 49ers is a data point in the Browns' never-ending search for stability under center. Cleveland's front office will eventually have to compare Sanders' body of work to Gabriel's, weigh them both against the possibility of adding a veteran, and then decide how aggressively to pursue another rookie in the 2026 NFL Draft. If Sanders continues to flash that deep ball touch, that calm in the pocket, and that edge in front of the microphone, he can change that calculus. If he struggles, he still gives the organization something Gabriel never quite did. A different look, a different ceiling to evaluate. That's why sending him back to the bench now would have been malpractice. The Browns need answers. Sanders, with 1 win and 1 full week as QB1 behind him, is their best shot at finding them. So Sunday, when the 49ers walk into Cleveland and the dog pound roars to life, it won't just be another game in a disappointing season. It'll be the next step in a high-stakes audition, the continuation of a story that started with a draft night slide and has now turned into a second straight start. Shedeur Sanders will jog out of that tunnel again, number 12 on his chest, the weight of a franchise's questions on his shoulders, and for the first time in a long time, a city willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, they're watching the beginning of an answer.